So I sit on a couple of different boards that have to do with bioethics. I sit on the Clinical Ethics Committee at the Royal Children's Hospital, which is basically a group who helps with the ethical decision making in the hospital and kind of helps to make policy, and parents can refer to the group when they have questions, doctors can refer to the group when they have questions. So I'm sitting on that board and helping with the ethical decision making, and I'm also sitting on the Children's Bioethics Centre Development Board at the Royal Children's Hospital, which basically raises money for the Children's Bioethics Centre in the hospital. And I think having the course as a background knowledge helps me contribute to those boards in a much more in-depth and knowledgeable way that I wouldn't have been able to just based on my previous education and experiences.
So prior to studying bioethics and during it as well, I was working at the Australian Institute of Family Studies, and then I had sort of thought that my studies in bioethics were completely separate to what I was doing in family studies, and they're just different interests that I had. But then towards the end of the course, when I was doing a thesis and I was looking at biological ties and the importance that we place on biological ties, I started to see, oh wow, these are really the two kind of intellectual interests that I have. They're really sort of starting to converge. And you know, because the issue of the importance we place on biological ties underpins so many of the debates that go on in family studies. So things like, you know, reproductive technologies, or, you know, surrogacy, that's been in the media, or adoption, you know, should people be able to know their parents? These kind of questions. Underpinning that are questions of why we even value biological ties in the first place. And so I wrote my thesis, and then ultimately I had that published by the Australian Institute of Family Studies as a book chapter. So that was a really nice kind of convergence of the two different sort of things I had going on in my life at the time.